This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on 39 Dunedin News, hundreds of thousands of dollars of roadworks seem to be working on Portobello Road. Debates over the best way forward in South Dunedin continue following the release of an ORC report. And after more than 2 full days, the judge of a prestigious art competition has made his selections. Good evening, Dunedin. I'm Holly Buchanan. Hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of upgrades to Portobello Road are on track to be finished next month. That's despite several public complaints about the initial alterations in the area. But with a new contractor in place, Dunedin City Council staff are confident they've got it right this time.
It's been a stop-go process for the Dunedin City Council. But Acting Group Manager of Transport, Richard Saunders, believes the Portobello Road upgrades are on track to be completed on time.
The progress is going really well. South Roads have been engaged and are on track for completion before the end of September. So we're happy with the progress of this stage.
Saunders says the contract is worth more than $500,000, a figure he says staff are being careful to stick to.
Yeah, look, it's on budget. This particular portion of works the contract value was just over $600,000, and that's what we're tracking towards at the moment.
The layout of the road is being changed following much public input, and Saunders says once it's finished, it should work far better for all road users.
We recognise that there were some issues with the original design, which is why we've gone about trying to rectify those with some input. So what we're looking at now is a dedicated shared path for cyclists that's clearly marked, so there's no confusion over what's road and what's cycleway. We're retaining the parking for the residents, which is important to them, and also making 2 clear lanes for the traffic, just to make sure that driver safety is looked after as well.
He says the new layout will see 2 lanes of traffic, residents parking, a berm or grass verge, and a shared cycleway cum footpath. The council is footing just over half of the $600,000 bill, with the rest being covered by the New Zealand Transport Authority and the government's Cycleway Fund. Daryl Baser, 39 Dunedin News.
Southern District Police are warning drivers to take care on the roads and delay unnecessary travel due to icy conditions across the district. They say there are areas of black ice in the hill suburbs of Dunedin, as well as on certain parts of State Highway 1. While there haven't been any flurries today, police are asking drivers to slow down and drive to the conditions if and when they change. Drivers are also asked to check the situation with the roads across the district in the morning before they set off. Currently, the Met Service has no extreme weather warnings in place for Dunedin. Discussions at a city level are continuing about what the best course of action should be in South Dunedin. The Dunedin City Council today met to touch on the next steps following the release of an ORC report onto the environmental issues facing the suburb. But not all the councillors are seeing eye to eye on what role central government should have in possible solutions.
A recent report into the effects rising seas will have on South Dunedin continues to dominate council discussions. Several city councillors believe the time is right to get central government involved to help figure out ways in which to mitigate the issues.
Clearly this is not just a Dunedin issue. It might be that as the PCE has highlighted that we have the highest exposure in parts of our town, not just South Dunedin, but clearly central government must be involved in whatever initiatives flow from the challenges that are faced by us.
He says it's imperative that things begin to move quickly in terms of coming up with solutions and their implementation. But Councillor Ginty McTavish says she believes central government involvement might be premature, with more information needed about the perceived issues.
What I would not like to see is central government walking in saying, well, thanks, we'll take over this process now, and the community as such effectively losing control of that conversation.
McTavish says it's important that the community don't end up feeling excluded from future discussions. She says the council needs to be wary about conceding too much power to central government, especially after seeing what's happened elsewhere when that's been the case.
You know, if you look at Christchurch and what the response has been out there, the community feel reasonably disenfranchised by the central government approach that has been taken there, and I would not like to see that replicated in South Dunedin.
She says right now understanding what the ultimate response should be to the South Dunedin issues is not yet clear. It'll be a topic that's set to be further discussed in coming months, with a series of public meetings on the cards to get the ball rolling. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
The Dunedin City Council has given out more than $500,000 in its latest city project funding round. Lifesaving New Zealand and the Dunedin Symphony Orchestra are two of the big winners, both receiving more than $100,000 each. The Fortune Theatre also fared well, netting $95,000 from the contestable grants pool. The Council's latest annual plan has seen the amount of money made available rise around $60,000 on last year. 37 applications were received from organisations in this latest round, with 27 of those selected. Still to come on 39 Dunedin News, a different reason to mark World Breastfeeding Week, and this year's Otago Rugby League champions take home a much coveted cup.
So August is our winter sale month, up to 50% off. This winter hasn't been cold enough until now, but we have to get rid of all this stock. We've got all these jackets. Also to keep you warm and me happy, at 50% off, we've got all this knitwear. For all of August, we've got great savings on moleskins and jeans. Plus we've got all these warm shirts, look at them all, from $50.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
First in, best dressed.
You can make a difference for the SPCA this Cupcake Day. It's the sweetest way to help animals in need. For more details, go to spcacupcakeday.co.nz.
Wooltech have the experience and the expertise to supply a wide range of high-quality New Zealand-made products and can manufacture customised products to meet your individual requirements. Wooltech, great people, great products, great service.
Driving Miss Daisy is a safe, friendly and reliable companion driving service.
Hello Jean, where are we off to today?
We form genuine friendships with our clients and help them to remain independent. Thousands of Driving Miss Daisy clients and their families love our caring, affordable service. Call us today for a quote on 0800 948 432 or visit drivingmissdaisy.co.nz. Driving Miss Daisy, for the gift of independence.
Thinking of services for older people, think Enliven. Enliven is a service philosophy where people come first. Enliven is about choice, activity, relationships, respect and security. You can enliven your health, your friendships, your life, no matter what your age. For more information, go to psotago.org.nz or call 4777 115. Mobility Solutions Centre Dunedin provides products to improve your independence, comfort and safety. Contact the team at 4777 195 or visit mobilitysolutioncentre.co.nz.
So August is our winter sale month, up to 50% off. This winter hasn't been cold enough until now, but we have to get rid of all this stock. We've got all these jackets. Also to keep you warm and me happy, at 50% off, we've got all this knitwear. For all of August, we've got great savings on moleskins and jeans. Plus we've got all these warm shirts, look at them all, from $50.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
First in, best dressed.
We need your help to rebuild our animal centre urgently. Please give a little today.
Welcome back. Fonterra has held its forecast milk payment for this season at $4.25 per kilogramme of milk solids. The total available payout this season for shareholder farmers is estimated to be between $4.75 and $4.85. It's the first time the company has offered guidance on this season's dividend. Chairman John Wilson says the co-op is focused on delivering as much cash as possible to farmers by bringing payments forward while maintaining a strong balance sheet. However, with the farmgate milk price forecast remaining at their current price, it's likely to be another financially challenging season for farmers. And on that note, let's take a look at today's financials. The NZX 50 is up 8.5 points and is now at 7,357. And the Dow Jones is down 24 points. And to the exchange rates, the New Zealand dollar is up against all the major currencies we follow. This week is World Breastfeeding Week, with several events planned locally over the next few days. This year the focus is to spotlight breastfeeding as a key component of sustainable development. And Rebecca Llewellyn from Well South joins us now to talk about it. Good evening, Rebecca.
Hi, nice to be here.
Why is it important to mark World Breastfeeding Week locally?
Just to raise awareness of something that's really important to all of us that we might not realise, because breastfeeding affects the health of both mother and infant right throughout their life course. So it affects of how the infant and mother access healthcare, how the child performs at school, how they enter the workforce, how they generally contribute to society. So, and also just to raise awareness to gather support in the community for breastfeeding, because we know that one of the biggest barriers for mothers to not continue breastfeeding is not feeling that they're supported by friends or family and that kind of stuff.
And what's the unique focus for this year?
Sustainable development, in light of the Sustainable Development Goals that were brought about last year. Just to really highlight that breastfeeding contributes to a healthier, better educated and more environmentally sustainable world.
And tell us about some of the events that are planned for this week.
Okay, so on this Thursday we have a community film screening of Milk. It's an award-winning documentary about the practice of breastfeeding across the world, but also how it's been commercialised. And that's at 12 p.m. At the 4th floor of the Dunedin Sydney Library. And then we have two big latch-ons locally in Dunedin. We have one at the Lower Meridian Food Court on this Friday at 10 a.m. And then we have one also at Saturday at the Valley Project in the Valley on Saturday again at 10 a.m. And there'll be spot prizes for mums and giveaways and some kind of fun activities in there as well.
So can you tell us a wee bit more about what the Big Latch-On actually is?
So it's an international event, so it occurs worldwide on Friday the 5th and 6th of August. And it's essentially where mums and their brother whānau come together and they breastfeed all at one time, just to promote, support and raise awareness about breastfeeding.
And do we know approximately how many New Zealand mothers do breastfeed?
We know that it kind of varies along the span. So we know that at 6 weeks, and this is from data from like 2014 from Plunkett, so at 6 weeks about 65% of women fully breastfeed, and then you get to 3 months and it drops to about 50%, and then you get to 6 months and then it drops down to only about a quarter of women. So yeah.
And why is it that those rates drop so sharply?
We think it's just about getting support at exactly the time that you need it. So We know that in the first 48 hours, when people leave the hospital, when people are in the hospital, that things might go well and they can get the support they need, and then they leave and some problems might arise. And then accessing help at that point is quite hard. Either you can't drive to access support, or you don't feel up to driving, or you can't afford for a lactation consultant to come to your house, or you don't know what peer support is out there, such as like Breastfeeding Peer Support Otago that Well South helps coordinate.
Mm. And you touched on this before, but what are some of the benefits of breastfeeding?
Oh, well, they're expansive. So we know that breast milk is perfectly formulated milk up to 6 months of the child's life. And looking at it from a different perspective, we know that children who aren't breastfed, they're more likely to have respiratory problems, digestive problems, more likely to be overweight and have diabetes. They're more likely to have eczema and ear infections. So, yeah.
Mm. And do you think that breastfeeding in public, is that becoming more acceptable?
I don't think that it's not acceptable. Talking with some colleagues, I think that because with social media and those cases where bad reactions do happen, they're promoted more. So I think that generally breastfeeding publicly is accepted, and we know that locally from the peer supporters that them and the women that they support, they don't get many adverse reactions. So,
thanks very much for joining us tonight.
Welcome.
After the break on 39 Dunedin News, the captain of the victorious Otago Rugby League team credits their win to a team approach. And some chilly weather tonight, details soon.
Emu oil has been used for centuries to support joint mobility and tired muscles. Also helpful for supporting healthy skin. Available as oil or in capsules. Go to www.silverhorn.co.nz to order emu oil today.
You can make a difference for the SPCA this Cupcake Day. It's the sweetest way to help animals in need. For more details, go to spcacupcakeday.co.nz.
We're a 25 Moro place at Dog with Tails Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously. We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focused on the craft of what we're doing. We're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. Make it so anyone can come here and have a feed and be able to get something they're able to eat or that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
Drive-In Miss Daisy is a safe, friendly and reliable companion driving service.
Hello Jean, where are we off to today?
We form genuine friendships with our clients and help them to remain independent. Thousands of Driving Miss Daisy clients and their families love our caring, affordable service. Call us today for a quote on 0800 948 432 or visit drivingmissdaisy.co.nz. Driving Miss Daisy, for the gift of independence.
Mobility Solution Centre Dunedin provides products to improve your independence, comfort and safety. Contact the team at 4777 195 or visit mobilitysolutioncentre.co.nz.
We need your help to rebuild our animal centre urgently. Please give a little today.
Pregnant? Need to talk? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pregnancy counselling services are here to help. It's free, it's confidential. Call us now on 0800 773 462.
Tune in on Thursday for Motorsport Night on Dunedin Television.
Welcome back. Despite a season-ending loss to the Lions at the weekend, the Highlanders are celebrating success, having 7 players selected in the latest All Blacks squad. All Blacks head coach Steve Hansen named his side for the upcoming Rugby Championship, with the now expected contingent of Highlanders making the cut. He says he and his fellow selectors are very happy with the squad and combinations they had come up with. The newly named side will assemble later this week for a 2-day camp on Auckland's North Shore, minus the 5 Hurricanes who will play in this weekend's Super Rugby final. Both artists and muses are celebrating success as part of a local art awards showcase. More than 200 pieces of artwork have been hung as part of the Edinburgh Realty Premier Art Awards. And with a large number of entries, the judges very much had their work cut out for them.
Art imitating life, or life imitating art. Despite a substantial amount of time having passed, a sketch of musician Nick Knox by artist Pauline Bellamy, it's now won 2nd place in the Edinburgh Art Awards. Sitting in front of a portrait of himself is a new feeling for Knox, who says he's unsure how his visage will change in the years to come.
Who would know? Like, one can't predict these things. Yeah, like I think I'm very flattered. I love it that Pauline's a fan of my work and has been a passionate supporter of my evolution and process. And it's just really flattering to have a sense of how Pauline sees me kind of mid-performance, and I love the kind of the hunchedness of my frame in it.
Bellamy says 2nd place is fantastic and believes Judge Peter Cleverley made an excellent decision in giving the top honour to another piece.
I'm rapt because Kirsten, whose paintings I just love, deservedly got the first prize, and it's just such a beautiful piece. It's abstract, but you know, if you spend time with it, you can just see so much in it and feel so much from it. It's just amazing. I'm really happy about that.
Otago Art Society Vice President Anne Baldock says this year's competition was so strong that some artists' work couldn't be hung, with Judge Cleverley having to pre-select paintings for display.
We had 247 entries, of which he had to pare them down to enable us to hang them. So we got it down to 209, so it was unfortunate for the people that didn't get in, but we're just restricted by the limitation of the wall space. And I think we've done a pretty good job at showing 209 works, and as well as we could have.
The 2016 Edinburgh Realty Art Exhibition will remain on display at the Otago Art Society within the Dunedin Railway Station until the end of the month. Daryl Baser, 39, Dunedin News.
The Kia Toa Tigers have been crowned this year's Otago Rugby League champions after defeating the East Coast Eagles. The side won 32-18 at Forsyth Bar Stadium, taking home the coveted William Johnston Cup. And while there were a few standout players, the Tigers captain says it was very much a team effort.
Celebrating yet another win. The Kia Toa Tigers have retained their top-of-the-table spot for another year, winning the Premier Rugby League final at Forsyth Bar Stadium.
It was hard fought because a few of the boys came down sick during the week. There's about 4 of us that came down with the flu. But yeah, the boys dug hard, which was good, so came with the win.
The Eagles showed dominance at the beginning of the match, scoring within the opening minutes of the final, but the Tigers quickly came back to score a try of their own. It was the first of many for the side, with Unahi proud of the way his team rallied, especially after a couple of setbacks during the season.
We dropped off a bit because of their varsity holidays, as we had a 4-week break, but we came back good. Yeah. Trainings were good after the break. Boys had a few injuries, but we pulled up pretty good.
At the half, the scoreline sat at 14-10 with the Tigers on the back foot, but they came back with a roar to bring the full-time score to 32-18. A credit to all those on the pitch.
Probably our 2 props, I reckon. It'll be Coben in the end. They really led the way, and Hagen he backed up well, and our number 7 Toa, yeah. So there's probably a few guys there work pretty hard and make the team go forward.
The winning side took the time to celebrate with each other, their families and the fans. A low-key streaker even made an appearance, bringing an end to the season for another year. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on 39 Dunedin News. Work to improve parts of Portobello Road is on track with a new contractor in place following issues with the initial work in the area. The Dunedin City Council is at odds as to how much involvement central government will have in tackling issues in South Dunedin. And the annual Edinburgh Art Awards have been dished out, with those taking out prizes pleased to have the recognition for their work. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Craig.
Hello. Yeah, we'll be leading tomorrow with a story about renewed talk for the redevelopment of the Dunedin's waterfront, particularly near the Steamer Wharf Basin. It's come about as part of the 2GP district plan hearings, which resume in Dunedin tomorrow. Port Otago and ORC are both calling for some of the restrictions in the area to be lifted, which would allow further development. A lot of the buildings are owned by Port Otago, some of those old sheds and whatnot there, which get really run down and not much use for anything at the moment. They want to lift restrictions so there could be some office blocks and maybe some accommodation built in that area as well. This sort of thing was first talked about in 2005. They talked about a grand plan of the whole waterfront area getting a revamp, but it was a lot of money and a lot of opposition to it, so they're hopeful that maybe a smaller plan will get through. Also, the universities are showing some interest as well. Wants the height restriction in the area to be lifted to 20 metres with a view to building an aquarium there at some stage in the future, so that would be great. So it'd be interesting to see where they go. We've also got a lovely story about former DCC librarian Mary Ronnie, who recently turned 90, had no family local, so decided to go on a world trip at the age of 90. 3 months around the world she's travelled, caught up with family in Manchester for her birthday, also lots of friends in India and Greenland and places like that, so she's got some great travel stories to tell us. Speaking of travel, our travel section continues tomorrow with some getaway breaks, and we go to Rotorua. One of our reporters spend a weekend up there catching up in some mud pools and a bit of New Zealand culture as well.
Craig Page, thanks very much for joining us.
You.
And time now for a look at local weather.
This 39 Dunedin News weather update proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn's Emu Oil.
Starting with today's city view, taken of the cenotaph at Queen's Gardens. Around the city today, the central city recorded 8 degrees, 8 at the Gardens and 9 degrees out on the Taieri. Looking at the situation, a ridge of high pressure will move over the country tomorrow and a depression will move over New Zealand on Thursday and Friday, bringing some unsettled weather. To the forecast for the main towns in the lower South Island for tomorrow: Invercargill and Gore, light sou'westers and 9 degrees. Te Anau and Alexandra, light winds and otherwise fine. Queenstown, Wanaka and Twizel, light winds and 8. Light sou'westers are in Oamaru and 9 degrees. Here in Dunedin, it'll be fine tonight. It's expected to get down to 0 degrees. Tomorrow, sunny periods with some afternoon cloud and light to moderate sou'westers, a high of 9 and a low of 4. And on Wednesday, high cloud increasing with light rain later in the day and a high of 8. And finally, to the Otago Pallet Files tidal and fishing information. Low tide tomorrow morning is at 9:42 a.m. and fishing conditions are bad tomorrow, but best at 11:56 a.m. And that's all from the team here at 39 Dunedin News. We'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.
This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.